If the first game breaks, we'll get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win in. First year again, we're here for the first May. Carry body, keep it up 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be. To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
If you're not of the mindset going into this thing, anyone, anywhere, anytime, then you're just there to have a cup of coffee anyway. So this is a highly competitive group. We'll play where we play. We'll play who we play, and let's go put the ball down.
Man, we blessed to do this. We blessed to wake up. We blessed to be standing by each other. We cannot take these opportunities for granted. There's people that wish they'll be doing what we was doing. There's people that call us crazy for doing what we do. But they don't understand. Every time we touch this grass, it's a certain mentality you gotta have. And you can't just turn it on. We gotta wake up with it. We gotta train it. We ought to make each other better. I need you. I need you.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols that my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Hanging out with the coaches. Coach Jay's in the house. Coach Rice, he quit on Wednesday nights. He said, I'm done. I'm out. I'm moving up to the big leagues. He said, I heard things hit different on a Friday morning. So put me in.
Take what's yours, Coach. Take what's yours.
I think y'all are trying to take y'all are bullying me. I just now figured out what y'all bullying me on Friday morning. You said, you're going to take over the show, Coach Jay. I'm going to show up on Friday. We'll kick Boogie off, and we'll turn this into Talking Coaches. I don't know what we're going to get into. We got a fun show. We got a lot to get into, but let's see who's hanging out in the chat. Little Clouts here says, let's go. By the way, I love this new font. That looks clean. Let's go, Vol Nation. It's time to invade the shoe. Nelson's here, says Vols by Fitty. Somebody said, Nelson, where you been, bro? Yeah, Nelson's only here because he decided to start a huge argument on Twitter last night after I went to bed and then badmouthed me after. So I'm going to expose him for the fraud that he is to start the show. So that's the only reason Nelson is here. Todd Landers is in the house. What up, brother? Black Metal Banjo is here. Eric Jones, Kenny Davis is here. Aaron One of my least favorite humans in the chat because he's a Georgia fan, but he is here. Joey Carroll's here. Says, good morning, everyone. Come on in, smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. Share out this thing. Let people know we are live on a Friday morning. Banjo drops a $5 super chat. Says door fee Banjo. Thank you, Banjo. We appreciate those door fees and tips in the tip jar. Ron the Don for 5 says, let's go. Says, sneaking in at work, Dorothy engaged. It's all orange up in here with Boogie and the coaches. GBO, I said, bust them the chops and win this. Thank you, Ron the Don. Appreciate you, brother. Tyler's been a member for 20 months. Says, being an underdog. I can't read the new font. I praise the new font. Now I can't read it. Being an underdog never felt so good. GBO. Dylan Elam for 5 says, hostile invasion. The Vols assault on Columbus is going to make D-Day look like a soccer mom dropping her kids off at preschool. Plant the flag, GBO. Are we going to plant flags on Saturday? Maybe. Charlie Kaufman becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Charlie. We appreciate it. If you're not a member, hit that join button. It's only $1. We need your support. Look, Boogie and the coaches is a thing because we're going to talk recruiting all off season long. These guys are going to break down film. We only get to do that with your support. So hit that join button. We appreciate it. Thank you, Charlie. Good old Nate Pruitt for 10 says, cover charge. Boogie, howdy, Coach Rice, Coach Jay, howdy, Vols fam. Let's check her. Neyland North. God bless and go Vols. Hondo T for 5. Vol Nation, let's go to the shoe and whip the Buckeyes. Thank you, Hondo T. Billy Todd for 2 says, Dorothy. Good morning, Boogie. Coach Rice, Coach Jay, dropping those custom Talking Balls emojis. We appreciate you, sir. Sean Cross drops a 20 spot. Orange Boy. I think Sean owes me more than that. He was so scared from the beating he took 2 weeks ago that he didn't show up on Tuesday not to take his beating like a man, but we'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Appreciate you, brother. Says, thinking about making the drive tonight. GBO. Can y'all, well, let me hit this real quick. Charlie Common for 2 says, GBO, let's take over Neyland North. Did I already hit that one? Marcus Rush, he must have upgraded. Marcus upgraded his membership to Talkin VAWLS Elite. We appreciate that. Ben has been a member for 13 months. I'll get back to that point here in just a second because y'all are just flooding the super chats. We appreciate it. Ralph Keith for 20. It's orange.
Rocky Top!
Ralph says, good morning, Boogie and coaches. Hurry up Saturday night. GBO can't wait to see the Vols at the Rose Bowl. Coach Jay will be there live and in person. Just take care of business. And let's get man, what an environment. Me and Kane are talking about this yesterday, the Locked On Vols that he posted this morning. Like, what a stage. Tennessee, Oregon, #1 team in the country, Rose Bowl. Man, that's what college football is all about. See, John's been a member for 14 months. We appreciate you, brother. Can you all explain to me, right? We're talking about this hostile, and we're going to come back to Nelson's tweet here in just a second. But we're talking about this hostile takeover, Tennessee fans invading, the leaked pre-sale code, all that stuff. So, we as Vol Nation are saying, oh, we're going to have 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. Meanwhile, ticket prices continue to go down. So that doesn't tell me that we're buying up all these tickets like we're pretending if ticket prices are going down.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never thought in any case that this was if it wasn't 5 hours away and if I didn't have Christmas family priorities that I got to take care of, I mean, I would be there. Like there's nothing holding me back. If this was in Knoxville, like that place is sold out. Like I don't understand what's going on to why these tickets are just, and it's not just this game, it's every game. I don't know if it's the Christmas situation with it being so close to Christmas or what, but I mean, I never thought that given this scenario, why this is the main reason why everybody loved the first round of the playoffs, because you had the home field advantage, on college campuses type deal that, everybody thought would be awesome about it. And for the tickets to be, still out there, you had thought that this game would have been sold out 3 days after it came, announced. So it don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, no, you would think that fan base would want to rally, and I think there will be those there, right? I think the ones that are there, they will have a numbers advantage still. They'll be loud, they'll support their team, no doubt about it, guys. I still think we can leverage that noise though and lower that overall decimal. But yeah, it does fall a little weird. Like even I would want to go to the game. Shoot, I don't even pay to fly, so it'd be real easy for me to pop out there, and go. But at the same time, timing's everything, right, Coach? Like the kids are coming in
Yeah.
right that day or the day before, the day after. I can't remember. Right in there though, and yeah. Other than that, it'd be really fun to go. So it's kind of a head scratcher, but you know, they're ticked right now. You know,
Yeah.
the only thing you could really compare it to is how Georgia fans were feeling when they got rid of Mark Richt, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like
Mhm.
always the bridesmaid, never the bride, or however they want to put it. But yeah, that's about all you could come up with. So man, it'd be a good time to knock them off their rocker, you will, and certainly special to be making a trip out to Pasadena here.
I just can't wrap my head around the ticket prices going down, because if we are who we say we are and we're this fan base that's going to take over the shoe, the tickets are there, right? I mean, they're there. They're there for the taking. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't see 40,000 people, maybe 20,000. We'll see how it plays out.
I think it'll be close to 25, 30,000. I mean, like Tennessee fans are going to show up. It's the reason why it's not full on takeover is because of if Christmas wasn't like, if it wasn't this week, I think if Ohio State didn't want the tickets, it'd be 50-50. I mean, real deal. That's what Tennessee fans do. But just because of the circumstances of the weekend and the timing of it, I think it throws, everything off a little bit.
And even if it is 20, 25,000 Tennessee fans, how empty is the stadium, right? How many tickets go unsold? Like, is it even going to be full on Saturday night?
So that's just heartbreaking.
It is the college football playoff, man.
I would rather face them. Like, I mean, if Tennessee fan, I don't want any empty seats. I want a full out, college football experience. That college football. I mean, that's why they did these games, because they thought it would be an experience of a lifetime, and it's just not meeting that quota.
Yeah, but fan bases get spoiled, man, and they get upset. I mean, like a good example, man. I got some spoiled children fans out here, man, and if things aren't going exactly USC's way, they don't show up. When they are, the Coliseum's falling out the doors. It's just the way it is. They don't drive down to the Coliseum, which I don't blame them. It's in the middle of the ghetto. But if their team's not performing, and I think it kind of speaks to just their overall irritation is all.
Look at our fan base, Coach. Look at our fan base.
I think they're going to show up, though.
Seasons since
left. I get what you're saying.
And now we've had 2 in 4 years, and people are telling me they want to watch basketball because they're done with this team and they're going to the college football playoff. Like, it's every fan base, man.
Yeah,
I sat here while we were in the gutter. We were miserable. We were awful. We couldn't even get bowl eligible, and watched Alabama fans complain about SEC championships and then losing the national championship. No, never forget where we've been. Never, man. I will sit on this channel and I will preach and I will harp and I will yell and people get mad at me about it. Don't become those Ohio State fans. Don't become those Alabama fans, man. And that's not accepting. Oh, 10-2 is fine. That's not like Heupel talking about the cup of coffee. I'm not accepting that, but I'm not going to sit here and scream and yell for a coach that's won 11 games 3 years in a row. Are you kidding me? You want to run that guy out of town? And I get it. At some point, you got to take that next step. Moving on to a different guy isn't always the smartest move.
Let me ask you this real quick. What do y'all think the situation would be if it had been in Neyland?
It'd be
it'd be falling out the door.
That's all that, I mean.
But that shows the 2 different mindsets of these fan bases, right? If it's in Neyland, we're going to cancel plans. We're going to cancel Christmas. We're going to tell Santa Claus to stay home. We're going to Neyland Stadium. You can put it on Christmas Day and it would be sold out. It would be packed. Like, there's no doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's one of the interesting things about this matchup. The fan bases are coming into this thing from 2 completely different mindsets. But what are the football teams coming in, right? What does the locker room look like? That's the question that we don't know. What we see is the fans all over social media. Dakota Coffee's been a member for 15 months. Appreciate that, brother. Gregory C for 2 says, good morning, gents. Cover charge, yo. Thank you, Gregory C. Matt Mars for 5 says, man, I'm glad y'all are finally on air. I had resorted to watching an Uncle Lou video. Well, just don't drive after you watch the Uncle Lou video is what I would encourage you to do. Paul the Ball for 10 says, headed to C-Bus GBO. What is C-Bus?
Columbus.
Oh, Columbus. What do you got? I'm not smart.
All right.
It's a Friday morning.
Boogie. It's morning.
Is this, so how do you say this? Clawson? K. Lawson? Kayla becomes a member of the
Got me there.
channel. We appreciate that support. I saw also in the chat they said, long-time listener of videos, first-time live stream. Let me tell you something. The videos are how we build this channel. The live streams is where we have fun. This is where it's at. Be here Friday morning shows. We got a tailgate show tomorrow, an hour before kickoff. Then we'll be live immediately following the game. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. We're going to do a post-game show. So welcome to the party. Dakota's been a member for 33 months. All I hear is excuses from these two. Just kidding. Love you. Been a while since I've been here, but I've been lurking. We appreciate you, Dakota. Andrew in for 10. Dorothy listening in the car on the way to the shoe with my dad. GBO. He needs a chair back seat, so we're stuck on the 50 in the middle of the OSU club seats. Let's take it over. That's how you take it over, Andrew. Get right in the middle of them. Wear that orange it out, and more importantly, man, enjoy the memories with your dad. That is awesome, man. Father, son, college football playoff. You're making memories. That's what Tennessee football is all about. Corey Cook becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate it. Aaron's been a member for a month, and AGR 270 has been a member for over 2 years. We appreciate you, brother. All right, let's make Nelson famous here. But the reason I want to open the show with this because I like this. This was a interesting tweet, and I kind of responded, and then I kind of thought about it this morning after I woke up. So Nelson tweets out last night at around 9:30. All right, friendly debate. I love D-Samp, but what do you think he's better than any of these guys? Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, Travis Stevens, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Hurd, Jay Graham, and Charlie Garner. And you can see my response down here. By the way, don't you hate why does autocorrect correct words that are right, but then when you make a typo, it doesn't correct it, then you tweet it out. And I'm not paying to get verified on Twitter, and I'm not dealing with that, so I can't edit my tweets, and then we're off to the races. But I said Jalen Hurd, and then I said Dylan Sampson's not on the same level as any of the guys you mentioned, but Hurd doesn't believe in the belong in the conversation either. You're naming some of the best ever. Hurd snuck in the back door to this conversation. Let's, Coach A, you kick it off, man. You kick it off. What are your thoughts? Just as a whole, the list he gives, Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, Travis Stevens, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Hurd, Jay Graham, Charlie Garner. And you can say, how does D-Samp fit into this conversation? And then we'll talk about Jalen Hurd as well.
So for me, like maybe it's just how my brain works, but I kind of separate these backs based on kind of what they were good at, what they did, like it's hard for me to compare Jamal Lewis to Alvin Kamara. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just two completely different things that we're talking about. So it's kind of hard there. I don't put Jalen Hurd on that list. And I like Jalen Hurd a lot, man. Shoot, how could you not be high off him coming out of high school? Absolute monster at the position. Great straight line speed. Could do a little bit of everything. But I don't know. Just as like a true running back, you can feed him 30 times a game. He's going to scoot on you. He's going to cut on you. He's going to get north real quick. He's going to make somebody miss. He's going to run over through somebody. I just think he doesn't kind of have every single tool in his tool belt that a lot of these backs on here did. Besides that, I mean, for me, I guess the weak links, Charlie Gardner. I know I'm going to get some disagreement there, of course, because he's he's still great. I'm not trying to crap on him or anything. I love me some Travis Stevens, Travis Henry, Alvin Kamara. Alvin's tough because we didn't treat him the way you need to be treated when he was here. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you're kind of judging him with backwards lenses. If we're talking about just purely what he did when he was here at Tennessee, and not what we know he could have been or should have been, then maybe you got to leave Alvin off that list for that reason. But
you know what's funny? Like you talking about Hurd and how high we were on him coming out of high school. Like one of my worst takes looking back at it was a buddy of mine was like, dude, I don't know why Butch doesn't play Alvin Kamara. He's such a better running back than Hurd. And I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, Jalen Hurd is such a better running back than Alvin Kamara. And now you look back on it, it's like, well, and that's what goes into some of this conversation too, is you Coach Rice in the back mentioned offensive line, and you can talk about that here in just a second. But it's coaching, it's system, it's style of play. But what are your thoughts, Coach Rice?
Well, I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, you look at what the system is former used versus and Butch Jones versus what Josh Heupel used. I know Heupel and Butch is kind of similar as far as the spread, getting them in space and all that. But Fulmer, you think about the dogs he had up front blocking for him, and it was just a different type of era. Like you were coming downhill in the I formation, and you're running through some people, whether you like it or not. And Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, Gerald Riggs, Cedric Wilson. Like you can go down the whole list of running backs that Fulmer had, and it's just hard to compare. But me personally, you look at if Dylan Sampson for some reason decides to come back, he could be Tennessee's all-time leading rusher.
He could lead every rushing category
stat.
there is.
Exactly. And so how do you not put Dylan Sampson up there? I mean, I put him above Jamal Lewis? That's where I draw the line. I mean, Jamal Lewis is one of one. Like he is that dude. And then I'd even maybe put Travis Stevens up there too, because he was unthought of, and then he came on the scene and just took over. But that's when I get into the Dylan Sampson. What if he comes back next year? He has a legit shot of leading every category. So I do put him up there. I mean, like I said, third, maybe fourth. And I know you said, Boogie, those are guys you watch, which I did too. I was younger than you, but those are guys we grew up watching the glory of Tennessee, the national championship, and saw the glory days of Tennessee. And that's what they were known for, those physical ground and pound backs that could do, get a touchdown just at the snap of your fingers. And but who's to say Dylan Sampson ain't that too? I mean, we've seen it week after week. I mean, shoot, he's Tennessee's all-time touchdown getter. So, just hats off. And I would say this, it's with a weaker offensive line than what any of those guys had. I mean, personally,
100%.
So. I mean, the space and the scheme helps Dylan Sampson, but I think this was one of those topics like comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron James, even though Michael's the GOAT. It's two different eras. It's just the game is different. The way the players play, the physicality of the game, it's just totally different. And but I want to give Dylan Sampson his, tip of the cap and all of his flowers, because that dude is 100% a top tier running back in Tennessee history.
And that was once I started looking at it this morning when I decided, hey, we're going to talk about this on the show, and I start thinking about it. I'm in the exact. I think Dylan Sampson does belong up here, and I'm like you. I think it's sometimes time it takes time, right? How many times do we have a quarterback and everybody hates that quarterback, talks about how that quarterback sucks? Look, there were people that wanted to bench Josh Dobbs. You understand? Yeah. People that used to come on this channel that have a brown paper bag over their head that talked about benching guys that we now look back on and call them some of the best players to come through Tennessee. So sometimes after time passes, you look back on it differently. And I think, exactly like you said, Coach, if Dylan Sampson comes back, he has the opportunity to break every single rushing record at Tennessee. Yeah. There will be a Heisman Trophy campaign. He'll have an opportunity to win an SEC championship and a national championship. And if all of that happens, if he does come back, then you're going to have to put him down as not only one of, maybe the greatest running back in Tennessee history. I think that's fair. Something else that I went and did was I looked at yards per carry, because everybody was talking about Jalen Hurd and how he could have been the all-time leading rusher at Tennessee. So I went, yeah, that's because he's number 2 on the list for carries. So I go and look. He averaged 4.4 yards per carry. That's lower than anybody else on this list. That's lower than Dylan Sampson. And then just because Coach Jay made his comment about my boy Charlie Garner, he's the highest on the list at almost 6.7 yards per carry. But again, there's a lot that goes into it. I just thought it was a fun conversation that we could kind of jump into to kick off the show. Let's see. Let me catch up, Brad. Brad must have got his Christmas bonus because he's driving a 50 spot. We'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Brad for 50 says, GBO, last work day of the year. One more sleep. until Vol domination of OSU. Merry Christmas, Talkin Vols fam. Merry Christmas to you, Brad. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Appreciate all your support of this channel for a long time. I know I yell at Brad and give him a hard time a bit, and we have fun harassing each other, but Brad's the man. Brad's a big part of this community. We appreciate you, brother. Rocky Top Time for 10 says, I'm out of the meeting, and it's the day before the biggest game in UT history since the Georgia game. Never bench Josh Dobbs, ever. In fact, bring him back and let him play. To tie a bow on that running back conversation, I know everybody says it. Imagine Alvin Kamara in Josh Heupel's offense. Just the absolutely unstoppable. Todd Landers for 2 says, Dorfy, we appreciate you, brother. I wanted to get your all's thoughts on this. Coach Rice, I know you were tweeting about it, and then I made a video talking about it yesterday. If I could find it, I've got 8,000 things pulled up here. Diego Pavia been granted another year of eligibility. If you missed the video yesterday, here's what it boils down to. Diego Pavia did not get an FBS offer out of high school. So he spent 2 seasons playing JUCO ball at New Mexico Military Institute. Then he transfers to New Mexico State. Then he transfers to Vanderbilt. Now he's suing the NCAA, saying that he could make over $1 million in 2025, and they are violating his antitrust laws. Look, just because you don't have the ability to go make money, I don't have the ability to go to the NBA and make money. So is the NBA violating the antitrust laws because I can't go make money in the NBA? Look, you're not entitled to just go make money. And this, look, Diego Pavia was a great story. As much as I hated on the kid and said we were going to go punch him in the mouth, and we did that, he wasn't good enough coming out of high school. But guess what? He put the work in. He got better. He got his opportunity. That opportunity was 2024 at Vanderbilt. That's it. It's over. You're not entitled to an extra year. You're not entitled to making money in college football. I got some dude. I love when people threaten me. How about this? I'll unsubscribe from the channel because you're dying on this hill. I'm not dying on any hill. What I'm saying is, just like I'm not entitled to making money in college football, Diego Pavia isn't entitled to making money in college football. You weren't good enough coming out of high school. You put in the work. You got your opportunity. Now you're out of eligibility. Coach Rice, unpack this JUCO stuff, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at point blank, of course, the original lawsuit clarifies it's just him, which that's going to change. I mean, once he gets, his eligibility, they're going to have to make it, nationwide and for everybody, because that's just that's how the NCAA rolls. Because I mean, point blank, I hate it. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. It's going to cause even more chaos. We finally get rid of the COVID situation, and now you're going to add this to the already unstable environment with the transfer portal and NIL, and now you're got JUCO guys that played 1 or 2 years, and you're trying to keep up with that and see who is eligible to return. Yes, I love the situation that Miles Kitselman could possibly come back. But what's that do to, like you said, Ethan Davis, Deshaun Brame, Jack Van Dorselaer? I'm personally, I want to see, I'm ready to see Ethan Davis have his spot. Like, I mean, I want Ethan Davis to shine. What's he going to do if Miles Kitselman comes back? I go ahead and tell you, he's transferring. Like, you only get so many years of eligibility. He didn't take the route of JUCO, so why are you penalizing him? And this is nationwide. It's just not, Vanderbilt and Tennessee. You got the high school recruits. You're penalizing them. Like, why is it their fault that they were good enough, A, and then B, they have their education right? Because some of these guys have to go the JUCO route because their education ain't right. And so I hate the fact that we're penalizing these high school kids, and you're saying you're okay with these JUCO kids going this route, get a couple years of development. They're going to automatically come in and be over the high school kids because, I mean, they've already got more development. They've played against older guys, and like it's going to be like I saw someone on Facebook the other day. It's going to be a developmental league. Like you're not ready. We're going to send you to JUCO for 2 years. You're not going to lose any eligibility, so you're going to come in 2 years older, 2 more years developed, and I mean, why wouldn't everybody go that route? And now you're playing as a 20, 23, 24, 25-year-old. And like, no one wants to see that. I personally don't want to see it. I know there's exceptions with medical red shirts and stuff like that, which I personally think they, you get a 1-year red shirt and then for some reason you get hurt in the very first game, maybe then you could get a medical red shirt for another year. But I think they should draw the line. You get 5 years with the red shirt, and that's it. That's it. I just think it's unfair to everybody, except for the guys that are taking advantage of the JUCO situation. And I think it diminishes high school football. Like it diminishes it. That's my take on it. I think, like I said, it'd be good for Kitzelman if he comes back, but I mean that kills Ethan Davis and our younger guys. I mean, I would transfer. It'd piss me off. I'm just being honest.
I guess I'll talk to the Ethan Davis thing first, and then the rest of it. Ethan, to me, he at the end, coach. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to go back again and start watch every game for the 50 millionth time, I guess. But it felt like Ethan Davis was starting to play a little more than Holden.
Closer to the end season.
And so if it were me right now with Kitzelman kind of being up in the air, I'd play the crap out of Ethan Davis in this ball game. I'd give him a lot of run in effort to keep him. And I think we can if we do that. But I get your worry about it because it's a real worry and it's valid. And then on everything else she said, it's a lot more fun on the channel when we can disagree and have an argument. But I agree with everything you just said. I do. I don't like that it diminishes it. And at the end of the day, a college credit's a college credit. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like all of a sudden your JUCO college credit doesn't count towards your degree. So it's something I do feel like needs argued in the courts. And, I know there's certain Tennessee YouTubers out there who who says the NCAA never does anything right, and he could argue against any point they have. But I'd like to hear them argue against this one because I think the NCAA has a case here, actually, because at the end of the day, it's a college credit. It counts towards your degree. And like Boogie said, it's not someone keeping money out of your pocket if you didn't have the grades. It's not someone keeping money out of your pocket if you didn't have the talent at that time. You know what I mean? NIL is a free market that pays you based on your talent. You know what I mean? It's not equal pay for equal play or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the best players get the lion's share of the money. And if you're not good enough to make that money, and you can only go to JUCO, then you don't deserve that money at the end of the day. So it's a college credit. It needs to be argued in the courts. If I'm not mistaken, it is going to be challenged in the courts.
It's going to be.
And I get it. Like the Sherman Act's scary, and you know what I mean. Antitrust laws, all this kind of stuff is hard to argue. But I do think they have a case here, just for the mere fact that it's a college credit. It's college. You are in college. This is counting towards your eligibility. This has always been the rule. It's not preventing you from making money. If Diego was good enough when he was out of high school, he could have made, in this system, he would have been more than welcome to make any money he wanted. It's just a little silly to me.
Just to add to it, like, guys, this ain't the NCAA ruling this. This is a court lawsuit that the judge ruled that he is eligible. Like it's the NCAA did not come out and say Diego Pavia is eligible. In fact, the original appeal that he did to the NCAA, they turned him down. So it's the courts that are turning this over. And I personally think the courts should stay out of all the crap in general. But the NCAA is going to appeal this. They've already came out and said their take on it. They despise it. They don't agree with this. They hate that this happened. because of what we're talking about, the college credits, the diminishing of going from the kids going from high school straight to a university. It's all of that combined. And the NCAA actually, and I'll give them their credit for once, they came out and were against this. And I think they will appeal and use that tape that Coach Jay's talking about. I kind of did it on my tweet. If I'm the NCAA, okay, you want to do this? We're taking away your credits, so you can't transfer them over. And there you go. I mean, if you want to go that route, okay, you just lost all your associate's degree. So there, that's a choice you can make. But yeah, there goes all your credits.
Like, look at we're talking about Ethan Davis. He's what, a redshirt sophomore. So it's kind of like, all right, so Tennessee recruits him, gets him on campus. Then it's like, all right, we got some guys ahead of you. And then we go into the portal and we get McAllen Castles. It's like, just wait your turn, be patient. We're bringing in McAllen Castles. He's going to be a one and done. And then it's, well, we're going to go get Miles Kitselman. Ethan, we need you to be patient again. We went and got another guy and brought him in. And then it's, well, hold on. We're going to, at what point is it you're playing 26, 27-year-old, like you said, Coach Rice, it's going back to the COVID years where you got guys that are 26, 27, and you got these high school kids going, when do I get my opportunity?
Yeah.
Now, you think the transfer portal's bad now? What are you going to do when you got guys that go to JUCO for 2 years, then they go redshirt somewhere for a year, then they play 2 years, then they transfer, and you got high school kids go? It's going to destroy high school recruiting. It will destroy it. There will be no opportunities at elite programs. And look, we already kind of semi-debate this now, right? When we're talking about, hey, we need a top 5 class in recruiting, and I'm saying, I don't know that we really do, because if you're successful in the portal, you don't really need that top 5 class. Now you're going to add this layer to it. High school recruiting becomes even more irrelevant at that point.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's like I said, it's a developmental league. You're literally saying you're not ready, or your grades ain't good enough, and you're going to go play here for 2 years, not lose any eligibility. And then we'll take you on, and you'll be already a step ahead of all the high school kids, and you'll have a spot. Like and going back to what's his name? I can't remember. Pete saying the courts. Yes, I agree. They're there to keep it constitutional. Well, only do on constitutional stuff. This is not. This is, this is throwing throwing something in at a basket and hoping it lands. I don't know, but it's just, the courts should never be involved in something like this. I mean, I just don't see how you're selling this on violation of antitrust law. Yeah.
That's nonsense to me.
That's nonsense.
It just feels like them. Maybe that's why they only put it as him. I don't think the lawyers necessarily think it's going to pass. I think it's just a play to get one quarterback a year of eligibility at Vanderbilt. I don't think they necessarily even think it's going to stick, which makes it even stupider. But that's frustrating, because it does. It just F's up so much stuff. I also think it kind of messes up that reverse money. So let's talk about this angle just real fast, and then we can bounce off. Take your kids that are a little bit more of a development, but are good enough to get into Ohio State, Tennessee, Alabama, because they've got that shine, right? They did work hard. They did everything right. And maybe they just can't bump over a Caleb Downs, a Ryan Williams, a Boo Carter, whoever may have you. Well, guess what? Their value, since that school saw that value and they played in hard, when they fizzle down to Wake Forest or to Vanderbilt or to Alcorn State or whatever, they're going to demand a higher NIL value in that bracket of pay, shifting downward. So it hurts their money too, just from a financial
That's a good
standpoint.
point. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Let me catch up with you guys on Super Chats real quick. Brad's been a member for 32 months, says almost 3 years hanging out on this circus show. Brian Allison, I can't figure this out. Brian's been around here forever. It says he just joined the channel. Then it says he's been a member for 29 months. So if you cancel and come back, I guess it continues to track that. I don't know. Kenny Davis has been a member for 26 months. We appreciate you guys. Preston Porter for 5. Different sport, but doesn't Dalton Connect could have stayed with another year with Coach Barnes with the whole eligibility thing. Did he play JUCO? I don't keep up with basketball. See a JUCO guy before he went to
DK. Yeah, he played at Northern not Northern Colorado. Well, he played at Northern Colorado, but he played at JUCO before 2 years.
Yeah,
JUCO ball.
imagine Dalton on this Tennessee team with all the
that'd be
pieces
unreal.
they have this
A
year.
dude that's playing in the NBA right now, and it's like
Killing
again. Dylan Elam for 5. He said, "Well, you don't have to read this. Coach Rice said everything I said. My fear with the JUCO ruling is that the portal and JUCO will eventually minimize high school recruiting and basically turn it into a farm system. 100%, 100%. Money controls it all too. Maybe Hugh Freeze will pay Pavia that $1 million. What's funny is he used Vanderbilt attorneys, and then he said, then the transfer portal starts getting talked about. How funny would it be if he used Vanderbilt attorneys and then he jumps in the portal and goes and plays somewhere else? Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Awesome.
Rocky Top Tom, been around here for 2 years. Only members get groovy chats like this, like a tub. I hate almost everything people who never played a down have done to the sport. The sport I love, but I still love UT football that much here, no matter what. Appreciate you, Rocky Top Tom. Papa J, been a member. Y'all bragging now. Papa J been around here for 41 months. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the support. Hit that join button down there. Hit that join button. It's only $1. Also, you can support by going to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Pick up your Talkin VAWLS merch. Have you guys noticed that since we dropped this shirt, Coach J's not muted as much anymore? So it is working. This is working, but you can get your muted shirt. You can get State Pride 2.0. You guys asked for camo. We now have a special edition State Pride camo shirt. God bless and go Vols. We got rivalry shirts. We got Cruton with Boogie and the coaches, all kinds of fun stuff. The link is in the description down below. You can click that, or you can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Plugs and chills over. But do smash the thumbs up. We got 320 people watching on a Friday morning. Smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. Charlie Kaufman has been a member for 12 months. Matt Begley been hanging out for 39 months. Papa J still leading the way at 41 months, though. Matt Begley close at 39. We appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Let's just jump into Tennessee and Ohio State, because I know you guys are going to break down. We're going to blend in the breakdown video along with the live stream this morning. I wanted to talk about portal, but we don't have to. I make so many portal videos, we can skip right past that. But we talked a little bit about Tennessee, Ohio State at the top of the show, different mindsets, the fans, the tickets, all that type of stuff. I see the narrative out there that Ohio State 2-13 against the SEC in bowl games. That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. This isn't a bowl game. This is going on the road. So let me ask you guys this. Let me play this clip, and don't bury the lead too much on your breakdowns, but listen to Hubs and what he asked Josh Eibel. I love the response.
A couple of weeks off. Can there be a lot of new wrinkles thrown in, or is this kind of, you are what you are, but both teams kind of are what they are at this point when you go play?
Yeah, we have nothing new defensively, offensively, or special teams. Exactly what we've done.
I love the response. I love the response.
I mean, even if you did, like, you're going to go out there and be like, oh, you know what? We had this install, Brent, and it's amazing. Let me tell you about it, Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. And obviously Hop's going to have some new wrinkles, some new twists.
Yeah.
Coach Rice offensively.
Yeah.
You're rolling into this game. You're putting together the game plan. Give me a little wrinkle, something you would do differently going into this game if you're Josh Eibel.
Well, I mean, it's simple. I'm running Nico. I'm calling some designed runs. You saw it last year in the Iowa game. Didn't see it much all year with Joe Milton. But then come the Iowa game, I think you saw at least 8 or 9 designed QB runs, and it was successful. I mean, if I'm looking at what Ohio State does best is, they tried to stop the run first. You got to keep them honest. And that's whether it be, getting the ball outside quick or, or running the QB. That's the second and third option other than your main option, the running back. And I really think that, he's obviously joking because, I mean, as a high school coach, we install something, a small wrinkle maybe every week or every other week, depending on the opponent. It's just something simple, but it's a wrinkle. It's something they haven't seen all year, the opposing teams off of film and stuff. So, I mean, Ohio State now, they're going to add something new. I mean, he's BS. And so, but I do think you see some, counter runs with Nico, maybe some motion and run off QB run off of that motion. Some stuff like that, similar to what we've done. You're not changing your scheme. You're just mixing maybe either formational or motions or who you're IDing to run the ball. And then you can do some small things in the passing game as well, whether it be screen situations or passing different formations to where you're getting your switch routes and all of that mixed up to help create chaos for the secondary of Ohio State, which is elite, which I know we'll get into.
Same question, I presume. For
I was like, pretty much it's laid out. I don't have to tell you.
I would interlay some of my traps in my secondary on obvious passing downs. Let me explain what I mean by that. Like, for instance, you could show a blitz with Boo Carter weak side, right? And then bring strong side cornerback on the blitz. Because I think Will Howard, for all of his shortcomings, is a smart senior out quarterback. I think he would pick up on this ruse really quickly, that it was a fake blitz and you were ringing backside. Yeah. And then I'd have the safety sit on that where the secondary blitzer came from. And I'd sit on that with the safety and steal that ball. Because I think Will's going to identify our show and go mix ups. So I'd interlay and trap my show and go blitzes in my secondary.
Yeah. And then one more thing, like, I think they'll add, it's the same personnel. You know what we do? We're 11 personnel primarily. We'll mix in some 12 personnel. I think you'll see different layouts of the formation, like same personnel, but mix up layouts and motions into those formations. So, moving the tight end different places, moving the slot guy, moving the running back, ways you can get into the same plays you've been running all year, but a different layout and different motion of how you get into those formations. I think you'll see that too. I mean, that's something as offense, you do week in, week out, try to mix up the eyes of the defense.
Do you guys, going back to running Nico, because for me, the two biggest keys to the game is it's what scares me and why I didn't make a prediction Wednesday. I didn't make a prediction when I was on with Kaner this morning on Locked On Vols. Said I was going to make a prediction right here on this live stream. We'll see if I can figure out where I'm going with this game, because it feels so eerily similar to Georgia, that we're having the same conversations about Ohio State that we had going into the Georgia game. Do you think they will really run Nico? Because I think offensively that is the missing piece to this thing. Yeah, at times Nico's missed, the wide receivers have struggled, but I think it only makes descent better. I think it makes your play action better. We saw, man, they were crashing from the ends all year long because they knew Nico was not going to keep. And then what happened when he would keep one? Big play every time Nico pulled one. Do you think, Coach Jay, they're actually going to do it? Do you think we're pushing all the chips in because it's win or go home? Do you think now we finally see it?
I think we'll see it in spots. We saw it late in the Vanderbilt game. I think he kept one weak side and took it for like 12 yards or something like that out of bounds. And I think you'll see him scramble some. So, yeah, I think early he'll keep one or two to keep him honest. I'm not in that locker room as far as knowing, what everyone's health is and what isn't. But if Tennessee's got to go through the path that they do got to go to win this thing, it means you have to play aggressive. You can't play scared, but you can't play stupid either. Yeah. So I'd want to run him early because Nico likes to be blooded early anyways. It will keep them more honest, maybe sprinkle in a couple late, and kind of play it that way.
Well, and then one thing I'd like to see, we all saw that empty long trout QB draw against NC State. I'd like to see some of that, and these ain't, and when we talk about running Nico, I'm not talking about all of them being reads. I'm talking you can have some QB power, QB counter, and them not be reads. You can do RPOs off of it. You can do backside slants and stuff off of those, but where the QB, he's either reading pass or run. there ain't no handoff situations where you can outflank the Ohio State defense, which is really good on the edge. So that's ways you use Nico in spots like Coach Jay said, but use that advantage that they're not ready for it in certain situations.
I'm just thinking about what Coach Jay said about looking at the road ahead. The road ahead doesn't matter if you get beat. That's why I'm like, I'm all in. I'm all in. And I'm not saying be reckless. I'm not saying go out there and run Nico 15 times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's the number? I think you got it. 7 or 8. 7 or 8 for me is the number.
Yeah.
And I like what you said too, Coach Jay. Run him early. Don't wait. Yeah. Don't wait. Like, do it early and make them think about it and keep them honest. And I just think this offense, like, I don't even know QB power. I thought QB power was that's Joe Milton's run. I thought Joe Milton was so good at just a straight quarterback power, and they hardly ever called it. I like Nico in the read option. I like the little quarterback draw.
Yeah,
we'll see what they do. What about defensively, Coach Jay? Like, what are your concerns for Tennessee's defense? And I worry. Everybody's talking about these NFL wide receivers, and I said with Kaner this morning, I think I'm okay with Jermod McCoy. Put him out there on an island. I trust Jermod McCoy. Both guys are going to make plays. It is what it is. I'm confident in Ricky Gibson. I'm concerned about the middle of the field. I'm concerned about Boo Carter. I'm concerned about linebacker play. I know Jalen Smith struggled at times. Is Edwin Spillman ready for the big stage? Like, we're talking college football playoff. Now we're going to try the true freshman out there in the 2 deep and say, go get him. And I know we're high on Edwin Spillman. What are your concerns from the defense? I know it's probably hard for you guys because you got all these notes you're saving for your breakdown portion, but what concerns you from Tennessee's defense?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think you got to be a little concerned with the middle of the field and at linebacker just because of the youth there. But I will say this. I like the way Spillman plays the pass. I really, really do. And the aforementioned young gentleman that transferred and the one the year before him were really a problem in that space with defending the pass. I want to see them rerouting in the linebacker core too. That's something that's worried me. Tennessee has been really good when we've been rerouting our receivers. Think the Arian Carter interception against Florida. A great reroute and then a squat down into the flat. Took away that deep route and only gave the quarterback one decision, and then Arian was able to sit down into it. So I want to see them rerouting. We saw it again in Georgia, and I was yelling about it before the game, and we saw it again. Yeah, they don't have the tight ends that Georgia has. I get that, but you can't allow the running backs and their tight ends to run through freely and unchecked. Specifically, if you're blitzing, you at least got to get a shoulder on them. Give them a quick reroute on your way in. Chip them. If you don't, they're going to be running free in that space. They're just too talented. They're too fast. They're allowed to put too much pressure on the outsides with their abilities. So you've got to have good linebackers chipping, rerouting, sitting deeply enough into the zone so they can keep everything in front of them.
Yeah, you got to protect the big play. Like they got it without a doubt, and then I don't even think it's even close. Other than maybe Ryan Williams at Alabama. This is the best group of running backs and wide receivers that we've played all year. I mean, I don't even think it's close. Jeremiah Smith, and they do some stuff to, they'll go tight sometimes. They'll go wide. They move their running backs around. They use their tight end and play action game, but it's identifying and finding your receiver. And that's the reason why I'm not a big zone advocate in this game. Like if you go zone in this game, it's going to be tough. I think you got to get your man and stay on him and make it tough in tight windows for Will Howard, because just what they do without going too much into the breakdown, it's very timing based. With how they identify where they're going and when to get the ball there to them. Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Bubuka, and Carnell Tate are big play guys. You got to stay locked in on them, stay in phase with them. And Tim Banks, you got to be aggressive. If there's any week to be aggressive, is this week. I mean, it's point blank.
You got this defense. Every week, man. I think Tim Banks, his defense is better when they play aggressive. When they get conservative, I think they struggle. Timothy McGee for 5 says, but coach, that is changing from the veer and shoot. It's just wish we would just go to the pistol instead. I hate the pistol. I absolutely hate the pistol. Can't stand it. Or as Coach Jay likes to call it, the Glock. We don't like that around here. Let's just jump into the breakdown. What we typically do on Friday mornings, me and Coach Jay do the morning show, and then we've pre-recorded a breakdown video that I post later in the afternoon on Fridays. Now, what is that? Well, if it's your first time here or you've never seen the breakdown portion, most of you guys know Coach Jay coaches defense in California. Coach Rice coaches offense in the great state of Tennessee. So what these guys do every single week is they break down the opponent. So Coach Jay is going to tell you what Ohio State does on defense. Coach Rice is going to tell you what they do on offense, and then they're going to give their keys to the game, and then we're going to roll right into the prediction. So after you guys give your keys, give your prediction, and then we'll tie a big fat bow on this Friday morning. Hopefully not the last Friday morning stream of the college football season. Let's kick it off with Coach Jay on defense. What's Ohio State going to bring to the table tomorrow night?
Yeah. Look, number one, they're going to bring just a straight nickel look a lot of the time, 4-2-5. This nickel, I always like to talk about the pillars of what a coach wants out of any defensive front they want. Theirs is built on communication, proper alignment, a sense of urgency, discipline, a lot of post-snap movement, knowing where to belong, and communication in the post-snap as well. Like any defense, like any 5 defensive back defense, it all starts up front. And for Ohio State, I believe it starts at those bookends. Jack Sawyer, JT are really, really vicious tight ends. I'm sure Coach Rice is going to get into it when he talks about the offense and how important it is to handle them. If we cannot handle these 2 guys specifically, I don't care what our offensive runs and how well Nico plays. The game will be over and we'll be traveling back to Neyland if we can't block these 2 guys. They are that disruptive. They are a problem. Make no mistake about it. The middle linebackers in that 4-2-5, the 2, Styles and Simon, they've really gelled as this year's gone on. They were a little rough around the edges, I feel. One of them's a converted DB, if I believe. So he can cover in space well, but football giveth, football taketh away. When you have a DB that's moved into that linebacker position, it means they can be susceptible to giving up good runs if an offensive lineman can combo down or kind of pull and pin and get through him. So expect that to be there. Their safeties, Ransom and Downs, are flat out spectacular, guys. They are really, really, really good. Will need to get that run game going to bring them up to open up that pass, because otherwise they are going to be just too dang talented to stop. Their cornerbacks are stout and they can play that inch technique well, but they can get a little undisciplined time, get a step behind. Not to steal coach thing again, but Nico, don't be afraid to throw up jump balls this game because they're going to be there. You've got the taller guys on the cornerbacks. They're going to be right there. You can get those PI calls in this game. They're really good. The defensive coordinator, Knowles, really used to be noted because he would slip a jack rather than a star backer into this 4-2-5, and he'd bring a lot of pressure and a lot of exotic looks. This year, he's really dialed that back. I've noticed they blitz so much less than they used to. And as a defensive coordinator, I'll tell you why. It's an easy answer. When you are this talented throughout your defense, you can play base. And when I'm playing base and I can do everything out of base, it makes it much harder to attack me. It just does. So expect them to be playing that well-disciplined. It's going to be that type of game, guys, where it's not what we do, dang it. It's how we do it and how we execute on the offensive side of the ball. That's what we're going to see out of this Ohio State defense. Expect them to confuse Nico a little bit too. Like I said, in that post-snap movement, specifically in the secondary, this is one of those danger games, like I said, against Oklahoma, where Nico needs to take care of the football.
Timothy McGee for another 10 says, I hate to veer and shoot. Just hard on the incoming wide receivers. You know what he is running. No creativity at all. All he does is throw long balls or sideline to sideline. Timothy hates this offense. Every single live stream, he comes in and he hates this offense. But I think, Timothy, you're just going to have to learn to accept Josh Heupel ain't changing his offense. This is what he runs. This is what we're going to see. What are we going to see from Ohio State on offense, Coach Rice?
Lots of different type of formations. They're very multiple. They'll get in some pistol. They'll get under center some. Majority of the game, though, they are in shotgun. Very, very different splits of the wide receivers, whether it be tight or snug or wide. They move them around. They'll play more than one tight end. They stay in 11 personnel primarily most of the game, but they will play 12 personnel or 21 personnel with the 2 running backs. You got to think, if they got 2 elite running backs and 3 elite wide receivers, why not use that personnel some? So you'll see that 2 back there with Will Howard, and then have Carnell Tate, Meko Buka, and Jeremiah Smith on the field all at the same time. And so that puts a lot of a lot of stuff on the defense to try to figure out how they're going to stop them, who they're going to double team, who they're going to identify. So Coach Kelly will do some misdirection, run some counter, use some motion off of certain run schemes to try to confuse our defense, our linebackers primarily. They do use RPOs a good bit. Will Howard, he used it. If y'all remember, he was the QB at Kansas State before. They will use, which was a primarily RPO and run scheme-based scheme at Kansas State. So they identify Will Howard's strengths, and they try to bring it in for him. He's a guy that will, hold on to the ball too long sometimes. So we got to identify that and get pressure on him. I think that's, without being said, we have to get pressure on Will Howard. Travion Henderson and Quinshawn Judkins, probably the best 2 running backs, and they're on the same team that we played all year. They are elite, but where their weakness is their O-line, and they're not on their top tier guys either. I think it was not a strength to begin the season when they were fully healthy, and it's definitely not a strength now. So we got to take advantage of that offensive line being unhealthy, putting guys there. They've moved some guys around. Coach Day said they're going with this type of lineup they think is going to give them the best chance to go against Tennessee's dominant defensive line. You got to take advantage. I mean, point blank, you got to take care of business down there in the trenches. They're still averaging good yardage per carry, so we can't overlook it, but we got to attack it. And then in phase, Jermon McCoy, Ricky Gibson. I said when the playoffs first came out, it's a Jermon McCoy, Ricky Gibson game. Like, you have to win your one-on-ones, because they will throw one-on-ones to Jeremiah Smith without, I don't blame him. I would even put him as the top wide receiver in the nation. He's that good. And so gotta win those matchups and identify where they are in formation, and your eyes got to be right, because they use motion. They use they'll pull false pulls. And what I mean by false pulls, they'll bring offensive line in a pull, taking away the key from the linebackers, because that's what they identify, and go the other way. So you got to be smart. You got to be on your keys, because Ohio State, with Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator, who's been under fire a little bit, especially after the Michigan game, it tries to mix it up with the best of them.
Yeah, those old linebackers are easy to fool. They're not the sharpest tool in the shed. You show them a little trickery, they get confused real easy. Look, we're gonna tie a big fat bowl. We're gonna do our predictions. These guys are gonna give you their keys to the game, and then they're gonna give their prediction. And I think I've got the right mindset to finally lock in my prediction for this game coming up tomorrow night. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be live an hour before kickoff for the tailgate show. That's where you guys get to come on, hang out, break down this game, and then we'll be live immediately following the game. If it ends at 2:00 in the morning, we will be live. If Tennessee loses, I'm playing EA Sports College Football on Sunday night because of Christmas Eve, because of schedule. I think it'd be good for all of us to get us a bottle of booze and sit down on Sunday night and just decompress and talk about the season in a laid-back atmosphere. When they win, we'll do a fan call and show on Sunday night instead. So, Coach Shea, we're going to kick it off to you first. Give us your keys to the game and your score prediction for Tennessee, Ohio State.
Yeah, absolutely. We do our keys to the game here. I texted Coach Rice. I'm going to handle this a little bit differently today because it's a big game. I kind of want to talk individually to the position groups. So I'll cycle all through all those. I'm going to start with the D line real quick, guys. Weak side DN. I need you to set that edge and maintain your weak side gap violently all day. I need you to pinch that down hard. I don't want them any comeback action because of those false reads that Coach Rice was just talking about. We need to be quick and violent in that gap. Defensive tackles. I want you to maintain that with violent twist, bull rush, quick hands, violent hands, low center of body. Look, this Ohio State offensive line is big. They're not their starters, but they're not as fast as you. You guys have quick hands. You're much more violent than them. They've been busy eating hot dogs and cheese curds up there. Bring it to them. Push them back. Set the new line of scrimmage. Hobble them. I want their quarterback bruised and beaten the following day if he's able to finish it all. Okay? Extreme violence up front. Linebackers. I need eye discipline out of you. I need your read step quickly. Okay? Understand your pre-read step, your cutback, and your secondary reads, and trust your instincts. You know the answers to this test. Don't overthink yourself. Trust your eyes, trust your reads. Trust what the coaches have taught you. We need you chipping the tight ends. We need you bursting to the flats. Don't over pursue. Don't misdirect. Play your blitzes with your hair on fire. Fast flow. This is the school of Al Wilson. This is the school of Leonard Little. This is the school of Renuke Thompson. People like that. Bring violence, speed, and aggressive to the position. Play with your hair on fire. Safeties. I need elite fundamentals out of you. Strong knees, quick hips, sharp pivots, close on runs, passes. I need you downhill with bad intentions. And Ricky, Jermad, Boo, I want to speak to you guys individually too as well before this game. This game is on you guys. Look, nobody in this country is giving you a shot against these wide receivers. You're not as good as these wide receivers. No one thinks it. No one thinks it but you guys. No one thinks it but you, Boo. No one thinks it but you, Jermad. No one thinks it but you, Ricky Gibson. You want an NFL contract, it's out there on this field on Saturday. Right? These are NFL guys. When they click on your NFL tape to see if they're going to draft Ricky Gibson, to see if they're going to draft Boo Carter, they're going to put on this tape. Right? I need you in their hip pocket. I need you to press that leverage. I need you in their ear when you're in man, jam, inch technique. I need you violent. I need you arriving to that ball quickly and off combo. Know your assignment. Identify fast. Play heads up. Play hard. Play lights out. Go earn your NFL contract. And guys, this is a team, an offensive team of all-stars, but that's just it. You got something we got the power T. We got a team. They got individuals. Let's go out there and make them understand what a team can do. Let's go.
That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me, you got to give you a score prediction, Coach. It better be a dub after that locker room speech.
Yeah, it's going to be a dub, 24-21, Tennessee Vols.
No way. Is that what you're?
Woo!
No way.
Sorry.
Yes, that was my exact score.
Well, All right, hold on. Let me catch up with super chats. Jeff dropped a $20 super chat. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Jeff says, Merry Christmas, Vol World Order. We appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you for the super chat. Dakota for 5 says 30-27 Vols. I like it. Michelle is here. She's in the house. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Michelle for 20 says, Merry Christmas. Watch Gremlins. I just said this the other night. Like, I am in the mood to watch Gremlins. Gremlins is a Christmas movie, 100%. Coach Rice, have you ever? I bet you've never even seen Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
I knew it.
I knew it. I knew it. Every movie reference, TV show reference, me and Coach Jay get it. The young kid down here just has no idea what we're even talking about. All right, Coach Rice, give us your keys to the game, and well, we already know your score.
Man, that's hard to follow, but 'cause that was fire. I was ready to run through a wall. But we did talk about we're kind of go by positions. I'm going to start off with the offensive line because I think this is the other than Nico, this is the most important position in the game. Guys, you have to be more physical than the opposing defense. You have to show up and want the fight, want to win the trenches. There's point blank. You have to win the trenches. You have to hit your kick out blocks. You have to protect Nico on the backside and the front side. You have to be clean. No silly false starts. No holdings when you can avoid the hold. I get sometimes it's just going to happen. It's part of the game. But avoid the silly mistakes. Win first down. We do that by running the ball. Dylan Sampson, you're the key to this game other than the offensive line. Nico, run the ball, win first down, win second down. Put yourself in great situations because if you're at third and long, second long, this defense eats. Coach Jay will tell you this defense eats when you put them in pass situations. Offensive line, you just got to be together. Play as one unit. Do not play as individuals. Coach Heupel says it all the time. All 11 guys have to be together for this offense to be successful. We can't do that if 4 offensive linemen do what they're supposed to do and one doesn't. We have to play as one unit. Tight ends, blend into that offensive line. Do what you do what you've done all year, and be successful in the run game attack scheme, whether it be counter, whether it be power, whether it be ISO insert. Be physical with those linebackers. You have to go attack them. Do not let them get up on you and change the edge. You have to go up, attack those linebackers, push them back, and give Dylan Sampson that and whoever our other runner, Deshaun Bishop, Peyton Lewis, those seams. Those
yellow.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I can't edit it out on the live stream, Coach.
That's just insurance calling. And then running backs, get your identify your holes, identify where your gap that you're attacking, and I'm sorry, my insurance is blowing me up. And then wide receivers, get separation, get identify where your target is in your route, identify what you're doing as far as against the cornerbacks, and then Nico, be precise in your reads. Do not let the Ohio State defense mess with your eyes, because they will. They like to do some mismatch in the secondary. Identify what you're reading and trust it. You have to trust your eyes. You have to trust what you've been coached to do. And also, let Dylan Sampson eat. We start with that. We've done that all year. Trust that. Be physical. Win the trenches. And go make some one-on-one plays. That's another key that I would like to throw in there. Win some one-on-one plays. Dante, Brew, Brazil, Squirrel, Mike Matthews, Miles Kitsman, Holden Stays, Ethan Davis. Go win some one-on-ones. They're going to play man-to-man defense. They do it a lot. They like to get up in phase with you. You're going to have to win some one-on-ones. All together, play clean, efficient football. The team with the least mistakes wins this game. And plays the most physical. You have to play clean, efficient. No turnovers, no silly penalties. Stay ahead of the chains. Do not get in second and third and long, like I said. Get first down, second and fives, third and threes. Got to be smart when you're play calling and put your offense in good situations. I think Tennessee comes out of Ohio State. The ice bowl is what Ohio State fans are calling it, saying that we don't play in cold weather ever. We play on the beaches, so we're evidently not used to it. Tennessee 24, Ohio State 21. Let's go win this thing. Let's go beat Oregon and let everybody know Vol Nation is here and we're here to stay.
That's right.
You know what I like about the storyline of we got the hardest road, right? We got the hardest road to the national championship in this college football playoff bracket. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If Tennessee goes and wins a national championship, what's been the storyline all year? Well, we won the game, but we're going to lose to this team. We're going to lose to always moving the goalpost, always excuses. But if you go beat Ohio State, you go beat Oregon, you find yourself winning the national championship, nobody can make any excuse anymore. It will leave zero doubt who the best team in the country is. Dakota for 2 says Max will win this game from 53 yards. If we have a 53-yard field goal to win the game, I will not be on for the postgame show. I will be dead in the floor of a heart attack. There is no way I survive Max Gilbert lining up to kick a 53-yard.
Hey, quick note, they haven't kicked that quick note for their kicker. They haven't attempted a single 50-plus yarder all year. And he's 2 for 4 from 40-plus. So, and he's
not going to be good kicking
12
weather either.
altogether.
Looking for an angle. Yeah, I like it.
William Franklin becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, William. We appreciate you. Michael nicely drops a $22 super chat. Very specific.
Rocky Top!
Appreciate you, Michael. Generous super chat says, good speech, coach. Just getting to tune in. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here, Michael. We appreciate the super chat. For me, man, I have not been able to get a gauge on this thing all week long because of all the storylines. Like leading into the Georgia game, I never had confidence. I never had any confidence Tennessee was going to win that game, but I kept trying to find the confidence. And then typical orange glasses Boogie on Wednesday night picks Tennessee to win the game because it's Georgia and I hate Georgia and I can't sit here and pick them to win. This game didn't feel that way. This game felt different. This game feels like such a big time matchup. This game on a neutral site, this game in Neyland. I like Tennessee. And you guys have talked about it. I mean, Coach Rice sat down there and said, best wide receivers we played, best running backs we played. Everybody knows, I saw him debating and arguing in the chat that everybody says Ohio State's got the best roster in the entire country, the best roster money can buy. But guess what? It's college football in 2024. That's what you do. You buy your roster. Tennessee, same thing. Look at our quarterback. Look how much we're paying him. So I get it. They've got elite talent. They have NFL talent. So do we. Like we have elite talent too. And it's like when you start breaking it down, the first thing I do is start looking at numbers and you start looking at statistical categories. And I get it. Stats aren't everything, but you're looking at a full body of work here. Like I think we would all agree the strength of our football team is this defense. But guess what? We lead Ohio State in every offensive statistic category other than sacks allowed and passing offense. Every other category, scoring offense, total offense, rushing offense, we lead. We are better than Ohio State. And I get it. Stats aren't everything. Defensively, they're better than us in just about every other category. You got 2 elite programs. You got 2 big-time programs going head-to-head. Again, neutral site, Neyland Stadium. I'm all balls, but I've tried to get a grasp on this game, and all week long, the whole Locked On Vols show this morning, I told Kaner, I said, get me there. What's the path? He's telling me that he feels the Vols. I'm telling him I'm leaning Ohio State. There's a path there. Tell me why. And we had this debate back and forth of why Tennessee can win. There is a path to victory. It's running Nico. It's being aggressive on defense. Coach Rice mentioned Ohio State's offensive line. They're beat all to pieces. What's the strength of our defense? The defensive line. So get after the quarterback, pressure the quarterback. And again, this feels like the exact same conversation we had leading up to the Georgia game. What's the mindset of our football team? We have said it all year long. Josh Heupel has been different. He has not looked the same compared to the first 3 years he's been here. I think Josh Heupel knew what he had. I think he knew what he had on defense. I think he knows what he has on offense that we've still not seen yet. I think he knows. I think we're going to run Nico. I think we're going to be aggressive on defense. And I swear to you, as we sat here and I said, I'm going to make my prediction, I typed it in my notes, 24-21 Tennessee. I'm not lying. That was the prediction I put in my notes as Coach Jay was doing his breakdown. I think that is a sign from the good Lord above that all three of us, Boogie and the coaches, on a Friday morning are telling you the score is going to be 24-21 Tennessee. And then we're going to Pasadena. We're going to the Rose Bowl, and we are going to go take on the best team, the alleged best team in college football. I ain't got nothing else to say. As soon as you said 22, I fell on the floor because that was my pick. And then Coach Rice is going nuts with my pick. I'm like, well, the score is going to be 24-21 tomorrow night as Tennessee goes up to the Columbus. Burrow Ball becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that support. That's it. I got nothing else to say. I think that's how we tie a big fat bow on this Friday morning.
Oh, wait. Real quick, I'll give you an underdog bet. For fun. Just for fun.
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. By the way, I completely forgot about the gambling segment because Coach Rice was coming on. Somebody commented on one of my videos recently, was like, I really wish you all would cover gambling picks. And I'm like, well, maybe you should tune in every Friday morning. Hold on, I can look it up. Let me pull it up. What do we
have a little fun real quick?
Is it still 7.5?
Oh, we're going around the country.
We'll see it.
Okay.
It's on my list.
All right, here we go. What do we got?
Number one, I was going to do a little just fun parlay tonight. I was going to take Jacksonville State on the upset money line to Florida to cover the number. So I'll take that. Give me SMU and the points. Give me the Vols and the points. I mean, I just haven't been impressed with Penn State. Every time they've played a big team, it's been a close game, whether it be the Trojans, whether it be Ohio State, whether it be Illinois, not even that great of a team. So give me the points in that SMU game. I think Penn State nips them. I just like SMU in the points. Give me Navy. Give me Navy on the upset to upset Oklahoma. Oklahoma's either resting everybody or injured. Look, take that plus 158 right there. I love that, man. Navy playing dialed in, just upset Army. They're going to be playing hard. I like Georgia Tech minus the 2.5 over Vanderbilt. Love that. I think Georgia Tech's going to be able to push Vandy around. And I just think they play better team football in general. And this next game, if you have any money in the bank, man, Texas A&M over the Trojans. USC is in shambles out here for those of you who haven't been paying attention. Just absolute shambles. Everyone has vacated this program. I like that. I like that a whole lot. Probably my pick of the day, no doubt. I like BYU getting 5.5 against Colorado. And then finally, I like South Carolina to cover the 11 against Illinois. And, of course, the Vols and the points.
Who do you like tonight's Indiana Notre Dame, right? Is that tonight?
Yeah.
I don't like the game personally.
No,
I don't know. I get a funny feeling about it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm spooked by it. Like, if I had to bet it, I'd probably bet a low amount of money and take Indiana to upset them just to have fun. But that doesn't even mean I'm sold on that idea, which is probably why I just won't play it at all.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
Yeah. There you go.
Completely forgot about the gambling segment. It's Coach Rice's fault. He threw me off. He quit the Wednesday gig. He's like, put me on Friday mornings. I was like, okay, Coach. Now I forgot we covered gambling. I don't even know where I'm at. But what I do know is we all picked Tennessee to win 24-21. Go ahead and book it. It's going down tomorrow night. Again, schedule stuff moving forward. Tennessee wins. We're going to play it by ear. Next week being Christmas, there won't be a Tuesday night stream. Won't be a Wednesday night stream. If they do win, we'll do the fan call-in show on Sunday night. I'll probably do the EA Sports College Football stream on Thursday night instead. But just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click the bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. If Tennessee does lose, we'll do EA Sports College Football on Sunday night, and then we're going to dive full steam ahead into recruiting. I've got a whole list I want to get into with film breakdowns. I'm thinking maybe we do breakdowns on the portal guys. We did that with Jermod McCoy.
Yep.
Look, we just business talk. The videos get copyright struck if you use actual game footage, but I think it's worth it. I think that is a good product. I enjoy listening to the breakdowns and getting to learn about these guys that we're going to get via the portal. So we'll start there. We'll do class of 25 guys. We'll do class of 26 guys. And then look, January is when it kicks off. That's when the class of 2026 really starts to take off. And Tennessee's already great start to that class of 26. But we'll start really diving into that. We'll do live commitment videos. We'll do all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you dial in. This channel doesn't survive the off season without you guys. So if you like what we do during the season, we have to have that support to make it through the off season. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and dialed in. But that is going to do it for this one. For Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, my name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home and it's night and I'm alone and